Hey everybody, HMV here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and I've been sick. I'm feeling better now. I got better, but I'm still not feeling 100%, so I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to do, but let's rally on regardless. I'm not going to be launching any new missions for a while. Kerbal's going to sit back and let what's already out here happen. The one thing I did add was a Kerbin to Duna window. I'll be launching a ship at that window to Duna in order to check out something shiny from a contract. I also picked up a couple contracts on Jewel. One was the Explore Pole contract, and the other one is the temperature scans. Oh, no, I didn't end up taking that one because I got scared. I was gonna temperature scans over Jewel, and I didn't know if you had to be in the atmosphere to take them, so I got scared. I said, no, I'm not going to take that. So never mind. So I took the pole one. Hopefully this guy can get pole, bop, and Jewel. We'll find out, though, what happens. But in 38 days, we got his burn here, so let's go ahead and crank up time. I basically haven't touched this save since last episode. A lot of times I'll do stuff in between, like this burn. But I've been kind of out of it. I've been working on a contract configurator config and doing FTL stuff and things like that. So I just haven't gotten really back into Kerbal Space Program. And to be honest, I'm missing it. So I'm glad I'm back. Should be good. Let's delete the maneuver node here. And let's see what we look like at Jewel. Here's our manned ship going to Jewel as well. Where the heck are you? There you are. Let's focus on Tylo, apparently. This is not exactly what we want. I probably should have left the maneuver node up so I knew what we were going for. But I'm going to hit the gas just a little bit and see what happens. Okay, this is getting us closer. I think we're just basically trying to get into orbit around Jewel. So we can hit our maneuvers and stuff like that. Because we need to eventually, our goal is to hit this. So, whoa. It's a little crazier than I was expecting. I think we want to burn, let's try to burn north just a little bit. This guy has plenty of fuel in him, at least I think he does. It's making the periapsis go up, so we are going too far north. So we're going to burn south. There we go. There we go. Yeah, and I remember now, I wanted to just give this guy a really high apoapsis so that out here I could burn him to match up with this orbit. And then come down and ideally use lathe to come down, because we need to reverse his orbit. So we need to do it way out here. That's what we were doing. We could also, in theory, do that last after we've done the pole stuff, but you know what? I don't feel like it. Okay, next up is our Dres probe. Let's go ahead and jump to him and take care of him. The goal here is to do a little burn. Yeah, he doesn't have enough meters per second to stop. Oh, he's tantalizingly close. I might try, just for the fun of it. So we're going to burn him down to 4 kilometers off the surface. And then when we hit this 4 kilometers off the surface, we're going to burn as far retrograde as we possibly can. Looks like I've thrust limited his engine. I have. Down to 1? How did I thrust limit it to 1? That almost feels like it might have been a bug. But oh well. Now he has 20 seconds of burn in him, that 982. So let's go ahead and get him to Dres. 200 days takes a surprisingly long time to time warp through. Okay, there it is. There's Dres behind us. I'm getting better at pinpointing these planets as they come out. Now we should be able to do this burn at any time, and it'll save a tiny, tiny bit of fuel when we do it. So let's go ahead and do it right now. There we go. Look at that. We saved a lot of fuel, actually. I'm not super comfortable with 4 grand off the surface. Let's make it like... Yeah, see, I can't make this 1 if I wanted to. Let's make it... try to make it 6 grand. Now, bare minimum to slow down to stop is... Oh, look at that. 980. is not going to do it. Oh, we're like 5 meters per second off. How sad is that? 980 is just not going to cut it. Oh well, that's what you get. We should probably like do some science. Log the pressure data. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and transmit it because we're never, ever, ever sending a person out here. Oops, I just said to keep it. Go ahead and transmit all that data. Let it all go. Oh, we're losing our power here, which is stupid of me because I know that that's a problem. Like how the antenna is just sticking up between the two batteries. Something always annoyed me. If you transmit one big block, you get 10 science for it, say. If you transmit it in 5 little blocks, you'll get like 8 science total because you instantly start getting the diminishing returns, which I don't think should happen. I don't know of a good way to program it. I understand why it happens. I understand why the program does that. I just want it to not. We can do another gravity scan, probably because we got so little for it. So let's go ahead and transmit that and see what happens here. Yeah, see, it chews through the battery. So, okay, tell you what, I'll do this a couple times and I will meet you as we get closer to Dres. Okay, we are nearing Dres. We should be getting the low over alert at any time now. So I want to hit this, I want to get this as soon as possible. I can actually turn on the global alert. Let's go ahead and say global warp settings are on. That way it will pause us the moment we can take these science experiments. I'm going to say we're not going to hit the surface, which is good. No, it looks a lot like we're going to hit the surface, which could be bad. Okay, temperature, gravity, atmospheric, transmit, transmit, transmit. Now I'm going to speed up time warp. Oh, see, there's the time warp settings. Globally off. Oh, I can't actually warp faster. We're low enough that it doesn't matter whether or not we can warp. Wish I had grabbed multiple gravity things now. But there's not much I can do. Oh, gravity scan. Gonna keep this until we get another one. And I'm ready. Tell you what, I'm gonna leave this up like this. Review data. I'm gonna say to transmit it as soon as we get another one. Because I'd rather have these sitting in the queue ready to go. Although, actually, no, I'm going to say transmit it now, because I just realized. Once we get over 10,000, I can start time warping. So I'm going to turn off. Global warp settings are off now. Okay, so now I can time warp. I need to be... There we go. Once I'm going this fast... Actually, I need to be going 100... He gains his power faster than he sends it. Yeah, we could have gotten a lot more science if I had brought in some more batteries. But I'm cheap. We'll get full credit for this guy because he's going to send in one big lump. And all that concern over power and everything has caused me to miss the flyby, which was very exciting. But oh well, this guy doesn't really have any use now. So let's go ahead and just get him out of the sphere of influence. And now we got 25 days to Elu. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, good. Not a number. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And we are at Elu. Luckily for everything. A quick exit out of the game and a reload fixed the problem. Now we are... I have no idea what any of this means. But we are in Elu's sphere of influence. Even though Elu's over here. And we've got a periapsis up here. Oh, this guy's... That's right. That's right. I forgot. This guy has a jewel encounter that he needs to do. I forgot about this. This guy... He's not in Elu's sphere of influence. He's in Jewel's sphere of influence. And he has a maneuver node here that when he does it... will give him an Elu encounter. I totally forgot about that. So this is actually the first guy ever in Jewel. So let's go ahead and take these readings. and transmit them. And now I've learned my lesson here. I'm going to time warp up to 100. We should have plenty of time. We got 17 days to take these readings here. This will just get us some free science around Joule. And we're up over 2,000 now. I think with these finish transmitting, I've got over 2 grand of science, which means we're doing pretty awesome, to be honest. But we're already aimed at the maneuver node. Well, we're in time warp, so I can't turn the ship anyway. Oh, we're burning more. Let's go up to 1,000. There we go. This guy, oh, you know what? This guy gets less power from the sun because he's farther away. I didn't think about that. Also, I don't have him aimed at the sun. See, this guy, energy flow 0.07. So yeah, out at Elu, he's going to have even more trouble than the Dredge ship had and that he's having now. If I at least go like this, do I get better sun tracking? 0.8. I guess that's better than 0.7. Yeah, and this is the best sun exposure he can get. So these guys really should have had nukes on them when it all comes down to it. And I'm more than a tiny, tiny bit concerned about the other ship. But what are you going to do? Other than plan ahead better. Okay, so now our goal here is to get this burn to get our descending node really close here. Let's just go ahead and do it right now. If I was smart, I would be using the nav HUD to be exactly on. Let's go ahead and delete. I know that there's a maneuver node coming. Yeah, look how close we are. We are 182, 170, 160, 150, 40. We have an encounter. Get this. Okay, the encounter is moving us sideways. I don't know what that means. We want to go up and down. Probably up. So let's do this. There we go. There we go. Cut that corner. Okay, now we only want to go up. Ha 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 ha, that's pretty awesome. Okay. Now we actually want to come back a little bit. Whoa. Time to thrust limit. I think that's perfectly fine for our encounter here. Then at the sphere of influence, yeah, we're coming in kind of from the north into the south. Oh, it's going to let us, come on, let me do it. To get a nice tight encounter like that. 31 meters per second well spent. And we actually have, what is our, if we wanted to get into orbit around this guy, 115, we're getting into orbit around Elu. We might even try to land. How cool would that be? Okay, we'll just delete this maneuver node. We'll remember it later. Elu Sciencer, you are getting renamed to Elu Orbiter, so I remember. Let's make him a station. Okay, let's get you out of Joule's sphere of influence. And then the next thing up is Discovery 1, so I will see you at Discovery 1's mid-course correction. There she is, basking in the sun, the very, very far away sun. Also, if you look on the contracts here, our contract, we got plan a flag on the moon, which we're obviously not doing. Science data, science data, science data. Build a new orbital station around Joule. Notice this station only needs a facility for 5 Kerbals, and it doesn't need ore. That means we don't need this anymore. So we can ditch this, because this was get a station around the sun. And we don't even have that contract anymore because we completed it. So we are going to ditch this, making our ship slightly more, whatever you want to call it. The problem here being that I was a moron and I decoupled that in front of me. Now, granted, that is 22 days from now, so I'm sure it'll wander out of the way long before we'll get to it. Yeah, it's far enough below us that I'm not concerned. This is it. This is that. Let's go ahead and bring the HUD up. We have a very short burn here. This will make it a 3-second burn, I think. So let's go ahead and do this. Get ourselves aimed nice and tight on here. Just about as perfect as you can get. Yep, and we're going to pass our quote-unquote lander high up above it, which is fine by me. Now we have, apparently we had, there we go, we had another maneuver node set up, but we also have this maneuver node, which in theory is going to be what gets us into orbit around Joule. Now I have to fix this. Now we're coming in through here. We've got this interaction with Lathe that I have no idea what it does. Again, I probably should have checked this out before we got here. I think we have to burn south. And that gives us another big white orbit. I think we want to do that. Because this guy has to get really down low. Because if you look here, this thing... 9 minutes and 1 hour. So he is orbiting this way. We are going to come through this way, encounter Lathe, and actually I think we do want to come all the way down. So let's go ahead and do this here. I'm ready on X. I'm aware that this is a collision with Lathe. Okay, let's set Lathe as our target now. Now, this would collide us with Lathe. However, we can, way out here somewhere, fix this by coming out just a little bit. Oh, that's good, too. We have to come out enough to not die. Should be able to easily get it down to about 1,000 or so. There we go. And then a little bit farther north, yeah. Get this orbit nice and equatorial. There you go. Now we're gonna cross Lathe and get this, and then we could either actually do the burns to burn down or get another encounter around somebody else to bring our periapsis down. Maybe do another Lathe encounter or something. We'll figure that out. But that's looking really, really good. Okay, the next thing up is our Kerbin Duna window. So I'm gonna cut out here. And then either later, like in a second or next episode, I'm going to come back with my Duna launcher that's going to send a couple people up to check out something shiny. So I was going over my assets around Duna to see what I had over there, because I looked at the waypoint and it didn't tell me how, the altitude of it. And I'm thinking about taking a plane to it. Figured, why not? You know, like I did in the Kerpalo series. And did very poorly. So I would like to do it better this time. And I would like to do it with potentially a plane that can actually land there. So, I would like to know the altitude, the elevation of this waypoint when we get here. And if you look here, it is somewhere in the southern hemisphere, just chilling out. We got 170 days before the launch window, so I figure why not take the Prospector up? This thing here is just drilling away at fuel. This guy has no use anymore because we're never going to prospect another area. So he's got 3.5 grand of Delta V. It would be a shame to not use it to figure out what's up. So I'm going to turn his computer on. We're just going to get him up into a nice simple orbit. Make sure he's thrust limited 100%. Let's go ahead and just go 90 degrees here. Watching our apoapsis. Once he gets up to about 20 or so, I think we'll call that good. Whoa, how about 30? And really, honestly, I could probably just right here burn him down to Duna. I want my low point to be on this side. That way when Duna rotates, this area here where we're going to be at our lowest is going to be in the sun. Enjoy a little bit of the scenery as we go. There's our space station. We're kind of chasing it. There's Duna. But I like the concept of using the local resources that we've already put up in place to kind of help the current missions. That's one thing that's nice about the ISRU system is not only does it give you the resources to do this sort of thing, it kind of encourages you to leave stuff laying around. You know, these orbiters and landers and things like that, that then you come back later and you're like, hey, you know what? I want to land this thing somewhere else. And then it's there. So let's go ahead and just get it right down to 100 like we wanted. Perfect. Now here, see what this was going to cost. Just to get it down to a nice 100 by 100. And it's not even close to being low enough. So actually, I think what we're going to do is instead of this, out here, next orbit, we're going to tilt him again. That's definitely low enough. We don't really have anything going on except for the Ike Prospector, which I should really rename to repurposed Duna lander. Should probably have him aimed a little closer to the sun, but he is still catching some rays on his solar panels. One thing he doesn't have is very much spare power, so we definitely want to keep him in the sun. So we're just going to do this burn here. Should be perfectly fine. And actually, we could possibly just come in for a landing. I'm going to make an executive decision here. Burn him down a little bit more. Give us more time to decide next time what we're going to do. But no, we're going to do this the right way. Going to bring this down, like we said. 275, that's 10% of our fuel. We have no chance. And this guy's never coming back. I don't think he's going to be able to lift off of Duna if he survives the descent. There we go. 138 by 123. That's perfectly fine by me. Okay. Now, night is coming, so we might as well time warp a bit. Just going to wish that I had put him in a higher orbit because I could only time warp 100 times. I'll be back when we're actually good. Just realized we are completely not facing in the sun. Luckily, I wasn't doing all this time warping at the ship. Let's go ahead and rename him to Duna Prospector. Because that is what he is. He's not prospecting for ore. He's prospecting for contract completion. Okay, this is actually looking really good. So let's go ahead and turn on trajectories. This is what trajectories is generally good for. And we want to, actually fairly soon, let's add a maneuver 3 minutes from now, to come on down. And are we in fixed body mode? We are. So, I think this is a pretty good trajectory, but what if we go forward in orbit and another orbit? That right there is really good. And what if we also go south a bit? That right there. That's looking really good. Then we can tweak that when the time comes. It kind of looks like it might be in a little valley, which is nice. We don't have to be exactly at it. All we have to be is near enough to it so we can kind of get an idea of how the lay of the land is. So I think that's perfect right there. Oh yeah, it looks like it's in a nice little valley, which is sweet. Okay, here we are. Now, one thing this guy doesn't have is parachutes because he was never intended to land on an aired world. So Duna though isn't very unforgiving with the Terrier and its ilk of engine. However, I am going to shoot to pass this thing because I'm going to probably have to burn the engine a decent amount to come down. It's about as good as you can expect it. If we need to correct, we're going to want to correct this direction. So let's delete this. That's actually really, really good. I don't want to change a thing. All I want to do is know when I'm here which direction is backwards. Now, of course, we don't want to aim this way because that's going to put us in the very dubious position of not having any sun on our solar panels. You can tell I've planned this mission to the utmost, but no plan survives impact with the atmosphere. Okay, we are in Duna's atmosphere. We have no science experiments or anything. The whole purpose of this entire mission, the whole purpose of this entire mission is to see what's up, basically. And this thing doesn't need to survive. Like just seeing it, kind of like seeing where we crash and what our altitude is, that is enough for me. And we can justify this because he has an antenna. He would be transmitting this stuff back to Kerbin, in theory. If not in actual truth. But I'm still going to try to land him, because it'll be fun. Oh, we could get the pole there, the South Pole. I do want to check. Yeah, see, I thought that was the case. We're slowing down more. As always, we're slowing down more than the Trajectories mod guessed we would. There is definitely something. Now, granted, I'm not going in prograde or anything like that. Yeah, I'm not coming down at the angle I told the mod I would. I'm gonna cut the ambient light out a little bit. There we go. Okay. Let's get the HUD up. If I can, I'm gonna land right at it. Because, hey, you know, bonus points. Okay, gotta keep an eye on my batteries. There we go. Now we should be basically heading right at it because it's following this line here. We are traveling 200 meters per second, which really isn't that bad. And our solar panels are actually in the sun. Which is also pretty good. Looks like we're going to be pretty high, though, because it is... Well, it's 4 kilometers away, so we're about 2 kilometers off the surface. It's not bad at all, really. Okay, this is looking good. Okay, we are traveling faster now. I'm going to cut down to about 50 meters per second. Oh, about 20 meters per second. Okay, I'm going to turn off the HUD because that always screws me up. Okay, yeah, we're going to have no trouble landing right here. Looks like we're going to be landing very close to it. Just taking baby steps here. We're in no hurry. We have plenty of fuel. Probably don't need to rise into the atmosphere. Now, one thing I'm instantly noticing is that there's nothing here, which is a bit anticlimactic, to be honest. But that's why you don't send a robot to do people's work. Maybe the people will see something that the robot didn't. But yeah, 2,000 meters off the surface, this is definitely plain territory. Off the surface, off the sea level, quote unquote. This is definitely plain territory, and this is also definitely a good place to end the episode. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. Where the heck is the sun? It is way up in the sky with Duna over there, or with Ike over there. Can I get everything in the screen at the same time? Not really, but that's good enough. I'm HMV, and I will, as always, talk at you later.